Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Workers and Resources Soviet Republic with me, Mangy Panda. In our last episode, we planned out the final utilities for our first industry area where we're going to be making clothing so that we can get something to export. And what we pretty well picking up right where we left off. It's been a little bit, so I was finalizing a few things here and there, but we've got a decent amount of the underground work left, or sorry, finished. We need to get this for certain finished right here before we can turn on the fabric factory, because without its water supply coming in, it can't make fabric. And let's go ahead. We're going to set up this warehouse, and we're going to go ahead and start delivering stuff to the warehouse just to get some crops and stuff in there to start with, so that when we do turn this on, it's already got materials to use. All right, so first off, let's clear this. Now, I'm going to go ahead and set this warehouse up for this whole area. So it's going to be able to handle food, alcohol, fabric, and clothes, not just the fabric and clothes yet, because it's easier just to do it all at the very beginning. So percentage-wise, crops, we want that at 50%, because everything is going to pull lots of crops. Okay. We are going to need some chemicals for fabric, but we don't need a whole lot. So we'll say 2%. Yeah, 2% probably sounds good. Fabric, most of it's going to get used up by our clothing factories, but there will be a little bit of overflow, because if you look, let's go back to fabric. So the fabric factory produces 5 tons per day, and the clothing factories use 2.4. So if they're all running at maximum capacity, there's going to be 0.2 tons extra. So we want to make sure, let's clear that again, 50. So we want to make sure there's a little bit of room for fabric in there. It doesn't have to be a whole lot of fabric. So we'll go ahead, actually we'll put that at 8 for right now. Okay, alcohol, it's not produced at a super high volume, so we're only going to do 10 alcohol. And same thing with clothing. It's a very low volume. It's just a couple tons a day. And so then that leaves us 20% for our food. Okay, we don't need any of these other things here for this production chain. So we'll go ahead, we'll turn that on. So you can see we can hold 664 tons of crops, 9 tons of chemicals, almost 90 tons of fabric, 80 tons of alcohol, 160 tons of food, 80 tons of clothes. So even with those small percentages, this warehouse is big enough that we're going to hold quite a bit. So with that started, we're going to come over here. We're going to buy, let's get some covered hulls. Come on, total capacity. We're going to start off with 4. And we're also going to tell this distribution office to load chemicals. Go ahead and unload those chemicals over there. The distribution office can handle the chemicals. It's a low enough volume that it won't interrupt their service of keeping the store filled and stuff like that. Plus, if you know, it works in the order that it's on the list. So the very first thing it's going to fill is the meat storage, then which is a separate truck than the normal covered hulls. So the next thing it's going to fill is the warehouse, then the prison, then last it's going to come over here and deliver fuel. So just remember that. Whatever order you have this in, that's the order that it's going to look at. And you can change that by clicking on this order right here. You just pick something and you drag it wherever you want it in the order. All right, so here's our covered hulls showing up. All right, so we want them to go to the border and to the warehouse. Okay, so now at the border, they're going to load crops and they're going to unload clothing, because we're going to have them go ahead and start selling the clothes that we make. Okay, then they will, when they're drop off here, they're going to load the clothing and they're going to unload crops. And we're going to go ahead and tell them to wait until unloaded. No, we don't need that. We're going to burn through the crops fast enough. Anyways, it won't matter. So they're going to unload their crops, and they're going to load up whatever clothing is there. And then they're going to head back and they're just going to repeat that cycle over and over again. All right, so turn that off. And you, and you, and you, and you. All right, so now we got those three guys going. They're going to start. Let's see, what research did we finish? We finished the Department of Geology. All right, so we can start on mapping so we can find out where our resources are. And then the other thing we're going to do is I started upping how many people can work in these areas. Oh, I forgot about this kindergarten. We'll just go ahead and max it out because we're starting to get close to what we could do with 15. You notice we got some unemployed people, which is good. That means we can start expanding the service on these buildings and eventually get them all up to just full capacity. Then we don't have to worry about them. And I already went ahead and added some more people to the hospital. Go ahead and do the fire station. And that way that'll help deal with the unemployed people. Because it's not that we don't have the jobs available. It's just that we're telling them not to go work those jobs. So we're just going to slowly start expanding everything out until we get it to full capacity and let it run from there. And there'll be some more people coming out here. Right now, this will start using people. This will start using people. Once we get everything turned on over here, that'll also take down our unemployment number. Because some of these buses coming out here, like, let's look at this one. So it's got 51 workers on it. This area can't handle 51 workers right now because these are turned off. So you'll see it's going to drop off 11, and then it's going to go back with 40 workers. So once this is done, we can open these up. That'll also kill our unemployment number, which is good. We don't want a lot of unemployed citizens, especially with as small as we are right now. But while all that's going on, we're going to come over here. Like I said, so if you look at our school, we've got plenty of room in our school. So we're going to, in this building right here, okay, we're going to go ahead and spend some of our NATO dollars, and we're going to bring in immigrants from the third world, all right? So we're going to bring in 50 of them. So remember I told you there's problems with these guys. So if you look, they have no education. So 41 of the 50 people we brought in have no education. 9 have a basic education. So those 9 can go to work. These other 41, even though this guy's 48 years old, he's going to have to go here and learn. He's going to have to get a basic education before he can do anything. Also, if you look at 21% religious, okay, whereas you compare that to one of our normal people, it's 0. He's 76. He's a bad example. They're generally higher in religion, and they come with a lot of problems. Their health is usually lower, like his is only 55%. Usually have a high alcohol need. Their loyalty is usually pretty low. We can't see that right now because we don't have the secret police. And their happiness usually starts off pretty low. But we've got the room in our schools. Let's go ahead and just, see, we're getting the warning for citizens' health and citizens' loyalty because of all the people we just brought into here. It's bringing down the average of this building. Like our average health is only 48%, which is not good. But they'll get their needs met too. They'll start going to the doctor. They'll go to school. So you can see some of these are adults here, the new people we just brought in. No, not you. So 17 years old. He has no education. So he's just going to continue to go to the elementary school until he gets a basic education. But we've got enough room right now that we can handle that. They're not using our rubles. It's a good way to, once you get established, to bring some extra people into the Republic. While all that's going on, we're going to come over here and we're going to start planning out our next industry, okay? Because this game is always about planning ahead and being 2, 3, 4 steps ahead of where you are, because in realistic mode, it can take so long to build some of this stuff that you don't want to be sitting around going, oh, I've got all these extra people, I should do this, and then have to spend 2 years building that facility. So we're going to go ahead and plan it out. We're not going to start building it yet. We're going to get that more established and more reliable so we have a steady income. As you see right now, we're just burning money. We have no income. So we're going to come over here. What we're going to start up here is we're going to start setting up our construction materials. Okay, so if we go down here to construction, so what do we got for construction materials? All right, so cement. All right, so you can make cement. All right, cement, which then you turn into concrete. All right, we're going to start using a lot of concrete. So that's a good thing to have here. So you got two different cement plants. You've got the small one and the not so small one. And there's not much of a difference between them. You look at this one, 30 workers, 81 tons of cement a day. This one's 40 workers for 108. So it uses a little less power, 6 more tons of coal, 30 more tons of gravel. So there's not much of a difference between them, okay? So we can do cement and concrete. We can also, so we can't do prefab panels yet because we haven't researched this technology. We can also make asphalt. So we'll have our own source of asphalt to be upgrading all of our roads, and also buildings need asphalt as they're being built. So that's a good thing to have. All right, so we want asphalt for certain. We definitely want a concrete plant for certain. We want one of the cement plants. The problem is, wow, this one actually uses less steel. 248 tons of steel. Uses a lot more gravel, and asphalt. Gravel and asphalt are cheap. We may just go with the big one. We'll see. All right, so we want those. All right, brick factory. All right, so the brick factory just take brick or coal and spits out bricks. All right, great. Gravel. Gravel is very important. We use tons and tons of gravel. Gravel is used in everything we do. So you've got two different gravel quarries. You've got this one right here, can take up to 40 workers. This one right here, take up to 100 workers. So we want the bigger one because we don't really need to supply those workers because we can supply machinery, excavators. And the excavators, as long as we give them fuel, they will run the whole time, no problem. All right, so gravel quarries. One of the things we got to figure out is how many gravel quarries do we need? All right, because once we make the gravel quarries, that gives us quarried stone, and then we have to make a gravel processing plant right here to convert the quarried stone into actual gravel. All right, so this gravel quarry, maximum number of workers is 100. Okay, so if we get enough excavators to max that out, and it's 3.5 tons of quarried stone per day. So that equates to, what is that? 350 tons of quarried stone per day at 100% source, which for gravel, that's pretty easy. So if we look, gravel quarry, like 93, 94, 97, 97, 99, right there. Okay. So we could plop him right there, and he's basically going to produce 350 tons of quarried stone per day. All right, so how much is that for gravel processing? Well, gravel processing plant uses 82 tons of, 120 tons of quarried stone per day. So 350, so that basically means we make enough to supply 3. All right, so, and they make, oops, back to here. They make 82 tons of gravel per day operating at maximum efficiency. So looking with 3 of them, we'll call it 240 tons of gravel per day. So how much are we going to use? And remember, we're going to want some surplus. Okay. Well, our cement plant, this one uses 240. So this right here eats up all 3 of those. That leaves us basically nothing for asphalt, for concrete, or to have a gravel supply for us to use. So we need more than one gravel quarry if we're going to run all of this right here. So if we take and we put in, find our second gravel quarry, flip you. All right, so we can get 60, 70, 80, 87. Looks like 87 is probably the best we're going to get. Five, 86. Right there. 87. Okay. So we build both of those. All right. So since we've got this one, it's at 87%. It's still going to kick out quite a bit. So that means we need 3 more of those. So they're going to output about another 240 tons of gravel a day. So we go back in here. So our concrete plant, okay, well, it's going to use up to 135 tons a day at maximum production, but it's never going to run at maximum production because you can't store concrete. Okay, concrete is just produced. Oh, construction's finished. Hold that thought. We got to see if this is ready to go. Is everything over here? You're done. You're still being built. So I need to know when that is done. And I need to know when that is done. That will bring our water into the fabric plant and also let us get rid of the sewage. Because we want to make sure both of those are done before we open up that plant. All right, back over here. So where we're at, we're on this concrete plant. Okay, so you can't store concrete. Concrete is produced on demand. So every time a concrete mixer comes over here, it will get full and it'll leave. So this will never operate at maximum capacity. So it's never going to use anywhere close to 135 tons of gravel a day, every day. Okay, so we don't need to worry about that. All right, so we've got plenty to run this. All right, so we'll just move this up there. So that's good. All right, so asphalt. Asphalt is the same thing. You can't store asphalt. It's produced on demand. So every time a dump truck rolls over to get asphalt, it makes it and kicks it out. Okay, so again, it's another 125 tons of gravel a day. So technically, these two together would use more than these 3 output, right? Because these guys output 240 tons a day. This uses 125, 125, so that's 250. But again, these will not run at full capacity, all right? So we'll put those there because basically what you can say is on average, they're going to run, it depends on how much you're building, how many trucks you've got, everything else, but we'll say they're going to run at half capacity. So we're using 125 tons of this 240 tons of gravel. All right, so that leaves us 115 tons of gravel for just raw gravel. Some of that will get turned into prefabs once we finally have that connection or that technology unlocked. We don't have that yet. All right, so this is going to be everything we're going to set up to start with. But we need a few other things, right? So we need some storages. So you go to dry bulk, and that's where your concrete is. So we want a storage for concrete, and we want, is that the one? No, we want the one with rails. You have rails, okay. So we're going to want a cement storage, all right? So this will make cement, it'll kick it out into here, and then that'll feed here. Why do we want this storage? Well, one, if you can move the volume, cement, it's a pretty decent export, okay, but you have to be able to move the volume. 2, this is a lot of steel to build, okay? If we go back and look, that is 233 tons of steel. That's very, very expensive to build this. So to start off with, we're not going to build this, but we can build this and we can truck in cement to run our truck in, yeah. truck in cement to run our concrete. Okay. And then once this is set up, as we expand farther and farther out, we have a source that we can just take by train to someplace else, and we don't have to set all this up. We could just simply put that there and this next to it, and we could produce concrete on site without having to have all the rest of this production chain. So the other thing we're going to want is we're going to want some storages for all this aggregate. All right, so when aggregates, storages. So we're just going to go with big storages. All right, so we're going to want a storage that goes between these and these so that they can go ahead and crank out their quarried stone. And if these aren't running for whatever reason, we can still have a surplus of quarried stone so that when these kick on, they're running at full capacity because they've already got a backup reserve. So we're going to want one of those. All right. Then we're also going to want one to hold the gravel as we're finished. Okay. So we're actually going to need two of those. So we've got all those. Well, then that means we need a truck loading station. Okay. Because again, we're going to replace that little thing right there. So we want to be able to make sure we can load our dump trucks with gravel. All right. So we're going to put that there. All right. The other thing we want to do is we want to make sure that we can load a train because we want to be able to take gravel from here, like over here to where the rail construction office is. So we need a train loading station. Okay. So we've got a couple different ones. We've got, you look, this one is two tracks, 100 meters. This one is one track, 32 meters. That one's 4 tracks. And it's 123 meters. This one is 6 tracks, 123 meters. So probably we're not going to move a lot of gravel. So this one right here is probably going to be fine. It'll give us 2 tracks that can sit, or 2 trains that can sit here and load gravel if we need it. That way, if we set up, as we set up other, again, we set up other construction yards. So we just want to make cement and asphalt. Well, we need gravel. But again, we don't build all this. We just put a gravel storage. We throw a train unloader there. It can keep that full. So just one. All right. However, we still need coal. All right. Because if we go back here, all right, so our brick factory, bricks need coal. Okay. Cement needs coal. So we need to have coal in here. So we're going to need another storage for coal. And then we're going to need an unloading station. So aggregate unloading for rails. So we're going to need one of these to unload coal, to run the brick factory, to run the cement plant. We probably don't need that big of a storage for coal. Let's go with something a little smaller, maybe that one right there. Okay. So we're going to need all of this. Plus, let's go again. Our future plan is we're going to move everything via rail. All right, via metro. Sorry, we're going to move all our people via metro eventually. Once we get money to start building metros, all that kind of stuff. So we go in, and for the train platform, we're going to want, right now we'll just say we want a ground level station. Okay. That right there. So all of this has to fit in to this area in such a way that everything feeds to the proper places. All right, so that we got gravel going to all of this. We've got coal going to this and this. And we've got the ability to load our gravel and unload our coal. And ideally, ideally, we want to leave room for our prefab panels, which is going to need cement and gravel. Got all that? All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so the first thing we want to do, so we've got these two guys, they're pretty well set where they're going to be. All right, and we've got, just put some road, just so we know kind of where our roads are at. So we want this guy. Okay, and excuse me. We're going to push him as close as we can. Did we get, I don't think we got our, yeah. All right. And one of the things I like to do, you don't have to do it, but sometimes these are hard to see when they're yellow. So I like to go ahead, just take them out and put them back in planning mode. So that way they show up white. So I know that I have all of my connections in place. All right. So I know each one of these is feeding into here. All right. Now we need gravel plains. All right. We need to turn that quarried stone into gravel. So we need to flip him around like this, and we are going to want we'll say 1, flip, 2, flip, 3, flip. We don't have any outs on this side. All right. Let's get rid of these guys. So, you know what? This is what we're going to do instead. We are going to take smaller storages. Flip, rotate. Let's go ahead, and I know I put those roads in so we'd remember where they are, but let's go ahead and get rid of them for right now. Crickets. So I have, so I've got 3 outs on this side. All right, so if you go here, and then we flip it, and we put this one here. All right, bring this here, connected in. All right, so now we take these guys and we want flip, if we do 1, flip, 2, flip, get rid of that. Right. 3. Okay. Now then, we need to flip. This guy's gonna need to move. We need to move a little bit here. Out this way. Right there. Alright, come on. There we go. And that'll happen sometimes. Alright, so you're done. Alright, so we've got water coming in, but we still need... Where's our sewage switch? 13 more work days. Alright, so hopefully that'll be done soon. Research project was finished. Alright, so get the distribution office there. Sometimes you'll put it down and it'll show that it can have a connection, and it doesn't. So sometimes that's just part of the game. Alright, so we want... And I'm trying to make sure I've got enough to get this road in here. So one there. Flip. And... Now can I bring... Because this is the key. This has to come... Yes. Alright, and... Whoops. Wrong button. All I wanted was to flip. Okay. Right there. That'll work. Alright, let's go ahead. Again, we're going to take these out. Put them in just so that I know everything's got a connection. Alright, perfect. Alright, so now we get our roads. You can still come out there. You can come out and hook to there. You can come out this way. Perfect. And then these two can connect here, and we can bring a road this way. These two can connect here, and we can bring our road this way. Those two there, and oh, they're too close. All right, so this guy's got to move. Flip. Right there. All right, now they can connect and we can bring our road out this way. So we've got all those. All right. Oh. We're only going to, when we do build this, we're probably only going to do one side at a time because, again, this is super expensive and this is going to take one whole side. All right, so this is our better gravel source. So we're going to start off with that one. So this guy, we are going to, we'll just put him, no, I don't, right there for now. Move these guys. No, I want to copy. So we need gravel quarry, storage, and right there looks good. And right there. Okay. Get rid of. I don't need you. And aggregates. Oh. Who's on fire? Who's on fire? Oh, that power station's on fire. Or substation. Come on. Watch our little fire trucks. And we'll speed it up so they can actually get out there. How many people? We've got 16 people. That should be plenty. Yeah, I know I've got an electricity problem. It's on fire. Come on, guys. You can make it. And there we go. Fire's out. Alright, back over here. So we have our storages there. I'm not sure if I like them there. We might move them. This is all just a plan. Alright, so we need our train loading facility, which we only need to load up from one. We don't need to load from both. So he can sit. Yeah. Right there's fine. And we need this guy. Turn him. Now we want to make sure we've got that road out. Okay, did it? Is that high enough? That's not high enough to get a road under there. Right there. That should be good for right now. Alright, so this guy, we're just going to move you over here for now. So you're done. You're done, you're done, you're done. Alright. We'll get rid of you and you. Aggregate storage. Right there. Okay, so then we also need our coal. Okay, so, and we need to remember, this needs coal, and so does the brick factory. Okay, so we want those two close to each other. Or we can run conveyors. I mean, whichever one. All right, so since we know this guy is going to go over on this side somewhere, what we're going to do is we will go ahead and throw this in here. We'll say right there looks good for now. And we're going to have some rail. So we want to make sure we don't block that. That's highly important. Okay. So those will come out of there for right now. And you will just come off of for right now with a little crossover there and a crossover. Actually, we might put the crossover first because this is going to need it anyways. So we might as well just put it right there. We can get rid of, no, just want to get rid of that. All right. So just so we don't block our rails, we want to make sure we've got our rails set up there. All right. So that's there. So now we need our concrete. And we'll go Right there looks good. Alright, why? Dry bulk. You just don't want to play nice with that rail. Or need to move you just a little bit. Alright, so get rid of rail. What point? You just all the way over here? Right there? Right there. Alright. That'll work. Right there it is. And you're going to come this way. Into there. Like that. Alright, so now we can fill this up and get it shipped over to here. So this is ready. But one of the things we want to do is we also want to make sure that eventually we're going to be using helicopters. Okay, so the helicopters need a place to pick up. So we want to put in, go to airplanes. So if you notice when I take this helipad and I bring it like right there, this lights up green. That means that this can be used by helicopters to pick up from here. Okay. Which is perfect. Want that there. What is... Let's put that right there for right now. That might move. It'll probably move. I don't like how it looks crooked. But anyway, so alright, so that's set up. Alright, now we need our asphalt. Asphalt, whoops. You're done. Now we need you. This needs gravel and bitumen. So you can run. You can sit. You know what? I've never tried this before. Can I have this hit both of them? No, it'll only connect to one and not both. Okay. It's worth a try. Never tried it before. Alright, so... we can put him right there. We can put this right there, so we can have helicopters come pick up asphalt. Then we're going to want a liquid storage. We don't need a very big one. It doesn't use a lot of bitumen. So liquid storage, we'll go with the 300 tons. That can just sit. Yeah, it can just sit here for right now. And we'll run underground pipe from there to... Nope, off. Okay, perfect. So you are done. Alright, so all we have left is brick factory and cement. Alright, so we need our coal. So we're going to put coal over here. Like that. Alright, and we're going to take, we need... we need to be able to unload our coal. Without, can I get it in here someplace without, right there, okay. Oh. Right there, that'll work for now, alright. these put in. Again, you don't have to do this. I just find it's easier for me just to be able to look and say, okay, yep, you're all hooked up. So then you are going to go. So can we get... right there, but of course we have to be able to terraform, and we don't have the stuff to terraform right now because we don't have free excavator close by. Is there any place? No place. All right, well, we know it's going to sit right around in there. All right, so you're done. Brick factory. All you need is access to the coal. Which, you know what? I'm going to bring you over that way. All right. Bring you... damn stupid terraforming. Right there. Hey, sometimes it'll tell you that it will go in there and then it won't. Come on. All right, that'll work. All right, so now this guy. We can still. We can even push him up some. Is there a spot in here where I don't need to terraform? No, doesn't look like it. See, one of the nice things about dry bulk is it fits so easily. All right, so right in there, now we can take our brick factory. It doesn't want to get... ooh, that's some ugly terrain. All right, so I'm definitely going to need to get somebody out here to terraform some of this stuff. All right, so our brick factory is basically going to sit right about there. I got to terraform, get this leveled out so that can fit in and that can fit in. Got our brick factory. And then all we got to do, we'll plug in our metro and get our roads, and everything will be all set, ready to go. So terraforming is really boring to watch. All right, where are we at on this? All right, let's... why are you... are you not set up? Did I not... no, damn. That's what was holding us up. I forgot to assign the workers to that. Pretty sure I did, but... We got construction coming on all this. Let's go ahead and get this hooked up since he is done. And hurry up. Let's finish this. We got somebody coming out. Perfect. Let's go ahead and start construction on our second clothing factory. %2 unemployed, which is 11 due to no workplace. So let's go ahead and up this to 30. And we'll up this to 20. And 20. Prison's doing good. We had 2 escaped prisoners because we didn't have any warders over here. Police station, no problems. Courthouse, no problem. Alright, construction finished. Alright, yay. We can end the episode by turning this on and starting to make all of make our own clothing. Alright, so max workers. This one we're going to put it half because remember, this powers 2, so we only need half. Alright. And we should have a bus coming along soon. You have 52 workers on you. Oh, and we need to tell them to go here and here. Actually, you know what? I think we can just... We'll see how our heating plant runs. If I need to tell people to go to the heating plant or not. And yeah, we got some people there going to build some stuff. And we are producing our first clothing. There we go. We have our first industry up and running. We're cranking out the fabric. We're cranking out that whole 0.2 tons of clothes. We're doing awesome. So soon we'll at least be able to get some money coming in to offset some of what we're spending. And that's where we're going to leave this episode for today. Thank you, everybody, and we'll catch you in the next one.